All right. Headed to my sister-in-law's house because, as you may know, there's been a lot of storms here in North Texas, and trees have fallen and power's been out and still out for a lot of people, internet and that sort of thing. And my brother-in-law's out on business, and so this is the second time that they've had a power outage, and now their internet won't come up. And so I'm going to see if I can't go help her get her internet back up and working. Yeah, so anyway, what I wanted to ask about is just maybe ask for some people's advice that have visited Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina. And the reason for that is in about 3 weeks or so, something like that, I'll be visiting on vacation with my family. And we've never been. We've heard a lot about it, but we really are open to suggestions on where to go, what sites we must see, and things that we haven't maybe heard about from friends and family. And was hoping that maybe you guys could give us some suggestions. Right now, we've got a few tentative reservations for things. You know, we're gonna actually pick up the car in Charleston and stay there a couple of days, and then head to Savannah and to maybe visit an island or two, and then head on to Savannah. And we've got some reservations for some dinners at different places. I think there's like is it the Red Old House or something like that? The Old Red House. Oh, we heard that was pretty good. Say this is funny because I don't remember the names of them, but there's like a pirate's house, maybe. There's a couple of places like that we've heard about that we went ahead and made tentative reservations, and we plan to visit those unless there's some better suggestions out there. My family's not a huge seafood type of people. I am. They aren't. Anyway, so we are definitely going to have some seafood, but we probably don't want every stop to be seafood. Also, is there anything like I know there's ghost tours and visits to old homes and things are kind of a thing there, and I think that's kind of fun. We did that when we were in Rhode Island one time, where we had a ghost tour of one of those mansions there in the district, and that was quite fun actually. So we're planning to do something of that sort while we're in either Charleston or Savannah. I think probably Savannah is where we'll end up doing that. And we had a choice of doing like a indoor tour, and then there's some walking candlelight tours that we heard about. That's another option. I know people have different opinions on whether that's interesting to them or not, but I am trying to think of something family friendly. And this is the first time in a while it's just going to be the four of us. I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 22-year-old son, and it'll actually be pretty nice to actually get out for a week and spend some time with them. We plan to do a beach day as well. As far as dinners, I center around a lot of my stuff about either filming videos or eating. That's kind of what I consider a vacation. And so I want to hit as many different spots as possible. We're actually staying in like the River District, I believe, in Charleston. I think it's Charleston. Anyway, and so I'm hoping to get some different kinds of footage there to maybe share with you guys. But anyway, I just thought I'd reach out and see if anybody had any suggestions. I'm not going to make this a long video. If you happen to have any, I would love it for you to comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love that as well. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this channel. As I've said in many others, I'm kind of pivoting right now in order to get through the approval process with YouTube, since they have given me grief about everything with the concerts. So for the time being, I'm trying to do some vlogging, test out some of these new cameras. And speaking of new cameras, this is a Osmo Pocket 3 that I'm shooting on. That's why we only have a single view. I'm not shooting on the 360 at the moment. There's been times where I've done that and made some vlogs, and it's pretty cool to be able to switch around and do that sort of thing where you can look out any direction that you want. But I think this one has better low light performance, so in the car, in the evening, that sort of thing. I'm also trying to figure out what cameras to bring on the trip. I have my SLR, DSLRs, mirrorless, and that sort of thing, but I'm actually kind of feeling like I would like to try doing a combination of this Osmo and maybe the 360 camera, and then just bring my other for the fun of it, my DSLR for the fun of it, and for wildlife or something that I might end up taking some images of. But for the most part, I'm going to try to do this more like touristy video type of things and try to make something interesting out of it. Anyway, I'm almost here, so thank you again for watching, and I will be looking out for your comments so I can figure out where the heck to go while we're on vacation. Thanks. See ya. So have you ever, in my case it's every time, gone to help somebody and the project is a lot more complicated than you thought it was going to be? Well, that's what this one turned out to be. My brother-in-law has quite the complicated setup for their house. He has firewalls, different segments with different routers and different switches, power over Ethernet devices, multiple wireless access points, AT&T fiber that comes in on a separate little device, and then of course your modem and that sort of thing for the fiber. And ooh, that sun is bright. The interesting thing is I was doing the normal things, rebooting things and everything, and basically no luck on that. Discovered that one of his integrated, well, it's not integrated, it's a piece of hardware that I'm unfamiliar with, that was a firewall router that basically all of his separate hardware segmented networks were running into, and then back to the AT&T, I guess, yeah, technically it's a router, basically died. There was no power to it. And so you would think that you would just be able to bypass that and run the, I mean, I'm not able to get all of his segments working, but they just needed internet access to work and to watch TV and that sort of thing. And it wasn't as simple as that. So there was a lot of rebooting things and running one of the Wi-Fi hotspots directly into the, you would think that that's all you would need to do is run one of the Wi-Fi hotspots directly into the back of the AT&T router, and there you go. Unfortunately, that wasn't working. And then half the time AT&T wasn't syncing with their network, and so I wasn't getting any IP addresses or anything. It wasn't doling out any DHCP addresses. If you didn't notice, I worked as a network engineer for years. So ultimately, rebooting things and waiting and finally getting it to sync and all that stuff, it looked like it was working, getting an IP address, everything, but yet it still wasn't able to do anything. And it turned out to be the junction box where the fiber actually comes in and connects, which was located in a different location. What was weird is the modem actually showed that it had service and broadband was connected and everything, but it wasn't given an IP address, or I'm sorry, it wasn't giving an IP address, but it was not able to, you weren't able to connect to the internet. So nothing would, you know, even though you were doled out the correct IP address and everything, it just would not, you know, you couldn't go anywhere. And so that junction box, I basically just had to reboot the fiber box, then go back through the same sequence of rebooting their router and then whatnot. And sure enough, it finally came up. And so I've kind of got a workaround for him until he gets back in town and is able to figure out what's up with that that integrated, or not integrated, I keep saying integrated, it's a hardware device that's a switch and firewall. And I think they're gonna have to replace it. It kind of looks like it's, I mean, there's no power, there's power going to the power supply, but there's no power going to the switch itself. It just dead, won't turn on. So that was my exciting evening for the last 2 hours. Go Stars. See ya.